Good morning, YouTube fans. This is Carmen McPhail, and I am at 778 Maine Road in Lincoln, Maine. As you can see behind me on my right, I am at an old antique farmhouse built in 1832 called Riverbend. We just call it the Riverbend Farm. It is a farmette now. It was much larger in the 1800s, but now it's at 18.5 acres. And we're going to take a look at the grounds as well as the inside. So let's start on the inside. There are flower beds all around this house. The people who own this house have not lived here in a couple of years, so it will take a little time, but it wouldn't take much effort whatsoever to get these gardens looking beautiful again. Let's head right in and take a look. So this that I'm holding, it's not on a door, as you can tell, but it belongs on the main door coming into the house. They just haven't rehung it. So that will stay with the house and will be rehung. Up behind me is the entry room to the home, and I am standing in the shed part of the barn and shed structure. This is the front of the shed area. There's also a back door so you can walk straight through, and out the back there is a deck area that we'll look at later. We're going to take a look at the barn. They don't have animals here anymore, so it's just used for storage. I did want to point out that it does have its own separate breaker box and that all of the wiring here has been updated. So you'll see knobs around, but the knob and tube wiring has been completely disconnected. We're here in the barn, and there's a couple things you need to know about the barn. One of them is that it does have 4 stalls here on this side. Current owner doesn't have horses, as I said, or cows, and so they have used this for wood storage. Works great for that. The hole in the ceiling over by the door that we'll show you in just a minute is for dropping hay down to this level, and then there's a corresponding hole there that drops the hay down to that level, and then there's also a trap door in the back that allows you to go down to the basement. But there are stairs down to the basement. I am not going to go down there with you today. There's no lighting down there. There is a back door here. As you can see, they've boarded it up. The reason that they boarded it up is because the stuff that was behind is no longer. There used to be a milking house out there, and then somewhere on this property was a slaughterhouse in the 1800s. As you'll notice, both the barn and the shed have these barn doors that still are in good working order. This home has a typical farm kitchen. It actually has some great features that I love. One of them is the antique Duchess Atlantic wood stove in the middle of it. That is both a cook stove and a heating stove. And behind that is a pantry slash summer kitchen. I'm standing here in the pantry slash summer kitchen. This is where your refrigerator is, in case you were missing that when we were looking at the kitchen. And also there's a back door out to the backyard here. There are a couple other features I want you to note in this kitchen. One of them is this built-in spice rack. I kind of like it. It was just a nice use of the space that was available. The other thing that I like about this kitchen is the antique tin ceiling. So this tin ceiling actually was removed from the Lincoln House cinema and brought here and then installed into this house when they tore down the cinema. So that's a nice piece of history that's been preserved for a while longer. And also I love this little school desk. It's just as cute as can be, and it has all the little places to hide things. It's great for a kitchen because you can have your note card there. If you know, when the phone rings, you can find something to write on, which is my problem at my house most of the time. And it just kind of adds to the character of this old house. I'm sitting here in the formal living room. The piano stays, people, just so you know, the piano stays. I actually really love this piano, and I'll tell you why. This piano has my name on it. It's a McPhail piano. Those were made in the Boston area a really long time ago, and they actually are a really nice piano, but I just kind of like it because it's got my name on it. This house also has a lot of built-ins. As you can see, it's got built-in shelves. This is actually, behind this door is one of the chimneys, and the chimney clean out is right here behind this door, so it's pretty convenient when you have to clean that chimney. And that is the chimney that goes to the wood stove that's in the parlor behind me. One of the other things about this house is there's a nice grate here if you wanted to put a wood stove back in the basement. There's not one there now. We do have forced hot air heat, and it is ducted. And then the grate in the ceiling is so that, you know, heat rises, and so that's how the upstairs is heated. Now, I believe there are a couple of electric baseboards in the bedrooms upstairs, but basically it's heated by the heat rising here. I'm sitting here in the parlor. That's what they call this room. It could be a library, it could be your office, it could just be, where you have your evening toddy before dinner or after dinner. But it's a cozy little room. It does have a wood stove in it, so it's nice and warm in the winter. Right off the parlor, there is a full bath. It's got a shower, toilet, room for washer and dryer with the hookups. Very convenient having everything on this floor. This is the formal front entrance to the house. Can't imagine what decade it was when this got used last. We don't typically use our front doors in Maine. It's just kind of a weird thing that we do. Anyway, we have them, and in the olden days when this was built, what you see as the formal living room probably would have been the dining room, and then behind me would have been the living room. They've converted this into the master bedroom. That way, kids upstairs, adults downstairs, however you want to do it. But it makes it convenient because if you wanted to live here when you're older, then you can easily live on one floor. As you can probably tell, this is a fairly large room. It has plenty of room for this king-size bed. It also has a walk-in closet. And behind me is a sitting room that probably could be used as a nursery if you needed it for that, or you could just use it as a reading room, or you could use it as a larger walk-in closet. I'm standing here in, I guess we're going to call it the sitting room. It does have built-ins. It has a couple of built-in drawers. It has a closet that has some shelves in it. It also has plenty of room for wall decorations. This person actually loves to duck hunt, and so he has his ducks on the wall, and he's got them all in a row. And behind me is the glassed-in porch, and we'll go out and take a look at that in just a sec. So we're standing here in the glassed-in porch. This porch is not heated. It is a three-season porch. It does have old windows. It does also have a door that shuts it off from the master bedroom, but it's a great place to come have an afternoon nap on a Sunday, or a place to come play cards with your friends. Whatever you want to use it for, it'd be a great place to have plants grow into. We're back in this entry, and this is the door to upstairs. Nice private up there. Put the kids up there to bed and shut the door, and then you can entertain people down here, and they're not running up and down too much. Let's take a look. It's a little bit of it's a curved staircase. It's not really a spiral, but it's a little bit of a tight fit, but it's what was here for the house. That's the way they were built. I'm standing here at the top of the stairs on the second floor, and right here behind me is one of the bedrooms. And then there's also a full bath, a second bedroom, and a walk-in closet that we'll look at. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good window seat. This is the open area on the second floor. They have a bed in here at this present time. This would be a great play area. There's, this storage thing behind me could hold games and toys and everything that you'd ever want, plus your linens for the bathroom. Also, this has storage in it. I just think this would be perfect for, cuddle up, read a book, play with your friends. Kids would love this. It's just like their own little space. Behind me is the walk-in closet on the second floor. That is a great space to have in a house. The small bedrooms that are here, they have some storage. They have knee wall storage. They could hang their clothes out here. If you're one of those people that likes to have a family closet, this is perfect. Also, you can put your off-season clothes here and not have them hanging in your room. Like I said, these bedrooms are not huge. I mean, this one has 2 twin beds in it, so obviously it would fit a queen or a king or a full-size bed, but they're not huge. They do have small closet areas over here on this side that have shelves in them, and you could put a rod in there to hang clothes. You could also put a dresser in here. There doesn't happen to be one right now. When this house was built, bedrooms were meant for sleeping, and that's about it. We are outside now at 778 Main Street in Lincoln, and behind me is the garden shed, which is conveniently located right next to the garden. As you will see, they do have some fencing around the garden. There are plenty of deer in this area, so if you want to eat your own vegetables, you might want to put one up. You don't mind feeding the deer, then just grow a garden for them. This land has a lot of great features. It is kind of rolling down toward the river, and it has this great little pond back here. It's a frog pond. You could, dig it deeper and put something in it if you'd like to. It has stayed wet all of this year, but we've had a very wet year, so you'd have to play trial and error with it. We're on our way down to the riverbank here at 778 Main Street. There are about 785 feet of water frontage here. There's a little logan. There's a great place for you to duck hunt if that's your thing. But what I wanted you to note is there are orange ribbons going down through that lead you on a direct path there, because otherwise it might be a little difficult to remember what direction you're going, especially if you're directionally challenged like I am. 25 years ago, this was field. They had cattle back here, some milking cows actually, I think, but they have let it grow up because they didn't have the animals. So, this is the average size of the tree here. It wouldn't be impossible to put this back to field. It would take some work, but it would be a lot easier than clearing a real forest and doing it from that. We're closer to the river now, and I just wanted you to notice that behind me, there's a much more cleared area that you could easily bring back to field if you wanted to. I'm standing here on the bank of the Penobscot River. So this river has some phenomenal smallmouth bass fishing right here. I actually live less than a mile and a half down the river from here, and it really has some great fishing. We like to put in at the Wind boat launch and then go all the way down to the Lincoln boat launch. We use kayaks and canoes, so it can take all day to do that. But if you have a little small motorboat that doesn't have too much of a draw, you can get down through here fairly easily. I would go slowly the first few times just to make sure that I don't ruin my prop. But this river is over 100 miles long. Just the confluence of it, that where they come together and then empty into the Penobscot Bay. So it runs straight to the ocean. There are a couple of dams between here and there, but a lot of them have been removed in the last 15 years. Where I'm standing now is on the little logan that is created by this beaver dam. As I've mentioned a couple times, the person who owns this house has been an avid duck hunter, and this is a perfect place to set up your blind. They'll come down the river, they'll see this water over on the side, they'll come in here and land, and there you got them. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our properties. There's new ones almost every day. I'm here behind the barn, and this is the lower level of the barn. This is the part we actually didn't look at, mainly because there's no lights and it's very dark. Not that I'm scared of the dark, but you wouldn't see me, and what would be the point? My right foot is on a slab that used to belong to the milk house, I believe, and my left foot is on a slab that went to part of another barn that was attached to this. So, this used to be a much larger farm, and the buildings used to be more numerous, and you can still see the remnants of that historic farm right here on the land. This is the animal door, in and out, fairly easy right into this paddock. And then if you had cleared those back to field, you could easily let them out into the field when you need to. I'm just a farm girl at heart, and one of the things that I love about farms is rock walls. This actually is the base of the driveway that goes up to the main floor of the barn. But, we have beautiful granite and other types of stone in this state. And to see a nice rock wall built that's lasted as long as this one has, I don't know, it just does something. It makes me feel good about the fact that our ancestors were that industrious. So just a nice recap. This is 778 Main Street in Lincoln, Maine. We are asking $250,000. It is 18.5 acres. It has an 1,800 square foot farmhouse and then an additional shed and barn. It was actually built in 1832. Besides that, well, I guess the taxes would be important. So those are $1,444.14. Happen to remember that one. It has about 785 feet both on Route 2 and on the Penobscot River. Thanks for coming again today with me on this journey. Love to have you guys tag along when I'm looking at these old houses. You know how much I love them. So don't stop watching, and have a great day.